Good afternoon, fans of Rando, fans of Link to the Past, fans of Randomizer. Welcome to Speed Gaming 2 for our Speed Gaming Daily Race series here. Today we have a Triforce hunt with 40 pieces required out of 50 in the pool. I am MyInDM and I am joined by Captain 1977.
Hello, how you doing?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
I'm just ready for some rando here.
Yeah, always
Uh,
nice getting a little afternoon rando.
yeah, we are underway. Getting two different starts here. Of course, we are looking for Triforce pieces only today. We're not gonna really worry about. Well, I was gonna say we're not worried about map checks right now, but we just got a map check. So
5 crystal at Eastern, 4 crystal at Hera, and I missed Desert.
I believe that was a crystal as well. Um, but yeah, right away we're getting Divergent Pass. Looks like our two runners here are Link to the Past Ken Nitro 6003, and looks like Nitro is setting up a hula head right away, and Link to the Past Ken taking more conventional rock going to Uncle and the escape sequence, and there we get our first Triforce piece off the Uncle.
That's a nice one to find early. Only 39 more to go. Now, in Triforce hunts, especially these large pool ones where you've replaced 50 of the items in the pool with Triforce pieces, early Houlihan makes a lot of sense because a lot of what gets removed are those 20s that you're kind of counting on to buy bombs and such early in the seed.
Absolutely, you don't want to miss anything out like at the bottle vendor, getting in the pod, or anything like that. So it's always a good idea to get that started first.
And, forbid that anything be on Zora, you're only a little less than half of the way there with the Houlihan.
So Divergent route still continuing here. We see Nitros is completely skipping Kakariko. Gonna go over to Sahasra's closet.
I wonder if he's planning to walk straight into Eastern here because he has no bombs.
And I think he just realized that.
Now, there is a vendor that you can buy those from. It's over there by the top of Lake Hylia Island where you can jump in and see what's on the island. And that's a play that a lot of runners will make. And, sometimes you're just in a hurry and you forget that little step where you have to screen transition south really quick and jump into that shop. But here we go. We are going to see the Eastern play.
We saw the Lumberjack ledge there. It's just a piece of art, so even if Triforce piece was there, I don't think we'd be going out of our way to get that.
No, the only way that becomes a play is if Aga is required for something else anyway.
Hey, there's a hammer there in Eastern right away. There's a weapon.
Yeah, that's a nice early damage dealer there for Nitro. It does tempered sword damage. Maybe the hitbox is a little wonky, but it's a whole lot better than nothing.
And we did find another Triforce piece there on Ken's side. The thief drop down spot in Skull Woods, so he's up to 2 already. So see how this route plays out here for Nitro. Not really finding him yet.
No, but that full heart container is a little bit of safety early on. Kind of nice to have when you're still on green mail. And Nitro is getting a little bullied there by pretty much everything in that room.
That's that wonky hitbox you were talking about with the hammer. It's kind of hard to hit things with it. We got the well. We have another Triforce piece. The shield, 20 rupees. No bombs to blow up the back of the well though, so hold off on that for now.
No bombs, and still working on money to buy bombs. Looks like Link to the Past Kin is going to duck back into Blind's old hideout and farm up the additional 30 rupees in the back here one more time. Oh no, never mind, had not come in here yet. I wonder at the play into the well first.
And five Number 5 now. Number 6 now. Blind's hut is full of Triforce pieces. Ow.
Well, if the name of the game is Triforce Hunt, then Blind was a fairly successful thief this time around.
And Nitro getting his first one. And Ken is still looking for rupees for bombs here. He's going to try to farm this 50-50 bushed out here.
It looks like the stun prize on Nitro's side was the 5-arrow pack, which is nice, I suppose, once you find a bow. And it looks like we may see a play into Front of Escape here, possibly, with the hammer, a repeatable weapon. It certainly could be a thing.
Yeah, at least it's Zelda Cell. I would think they would go there. And Ken finally gets a bomb. And he's going to blow open this hut here and farm some bombs since he does have the money to buy them. It's a good play.
Yeah, trying to hold on to what little cash he's actually managed to obtain so far makes a lot of sense. Again, with all of those 20s that have been removed from the pool and replaced with Triforce pieces, along with bombs and arrows, things like that, makes sense to hold on to what you actually get, and if they're going to give you something for free, you may as well take it.
So now he's going to retrace his steps, go back to Cackwell and Blind's hideout and bomb up those walls, see what he's missed. You see
And
him
farm a few more rupees while at it.
There's the Moon Pearl in the front of Escape.
That is 2/3 of Nitro's Dark World Access puzzle, just needs to find a glove now.
He makes his way to the basement to find Zelda in a cell. Of course, he's going to use those spots on the guard. It's a little bit more reliable than the hammer.
The hammer's hitbox is already a little tricky, and then you stack that guard on top of it. Ooh, but that's some fashionable footwear in Zelda Cell. Nitro making the plays so far.
Nice boost there in Zelda Cell. And by the way, in the back of Blind's hideout, we did find another Triforce piece. So there are 4 Triforce pieces in Blind Cell, right?
Along with the cape.
And the cape, yes.
A successful and fashionable thief.
Capes are in, I heard, yeah. You see him farming up money here for the bottle vendor.
And Nitro pulls another full heart container out of the bonk rocks, and appears to be heading north, maybe to make the lumberjack check that we've already seen from Link to the Past again.
And the bottle vendor has a mirror for us.
That's going to be required, and Nitro, having performed that early Houlihan, is not going to have to go through all of the money farming shenanigans to get it.
Chicken Hut, we find our other boomerang, the blue one. Now you have your choice to pick which one you like better.
Yeah, you can color coordinate if you need to perform some splash deletion and Scylla shenanigans. You can get the red one out if you're trying to be fast in Ganon's Tower, which hopefully we won't be in this siege. You can always break out the blue one. It looks like Ken is going to farm another round of bombs here really quick before leaving the village.
Yeah, it's a good idea. You always want to have as many bombs as possible. Not really any weapons yet for him, so good idea. As he's probably going to head over to Mini Moldorm Cave area.
There's Nitro with some good game knowledge. That bonk rock that he just ran into is a guaranteed bomb. As long as you have the boots, you can farm it as much as you want.
The heart container on the library cannot get that yet without the boost. He's got to go to the escape sequence. Gonna blind check the race game here.
You know, with 50 Triforce pieces in the pool, a blind check here makes a lot of sense. The chances that, as it is, it just is one, are pretty high.
And he will be rewarded with his 8th Triforce piece. So we are moving pretty fast to Kakariko. Kakariko had quite a few Triforce pieces for us. It's be expected with so many checks. Of course, Nitro should be right on his tails, evening up this match since most of those were in fact, in Kakariko. So.
And it appears that Ken wants to head into the front of Escape. Personally, I probably would have headed over to the eastern area here with 3 items on offer at Sahasrara and then Eastern Palace itself, and we know that there are some goodies in there, but I don't think that Ken is going to be at all disappointed in what he's going to find in here either.
It don't really have a weapon yet, but you can use those bombs. He should be alright.
Well, probably with all of the qualifiers for the main tournament, everybody's gotten a little more used to bomb escape than they once were. Using that boomerang to stun the guard and make sure that he doesn't waste either of those bombs. Yeah, good play.
You see Nitro with that early Houlihan play was able to just buy bombs, so he did have to farm any.
Was able to get bombs, already has the mirror off the bottle vendor. It's time spent in a couple of different ways, and with the Houlihan, he has a lot more money left over than Ken does. Nitro, also heading into the race game, will be rewarded with yet another Triforce piece, so we've already seen it on Ken's side, but that will even up the score at 8-8.
Ken headed down to Zelda Cell here. He's gonna find his boots. And from here, probably gonna hit up South Shore area, Mini Moldrum Cave, Ice Rod Cave, most likely.
Yeah, it feels kind of strange that all of that has gone unchecked, but both of the runners have gone into front of Escape already. At this point, it's all Sphere 1. It's really kind of a matter of personal preference more than anything. It's just a little different.
Yeah, I feel like with Triforce Hunts, you want to go for the high density checks. More likely than not, you're gonna find at least one Triforce piece there. And
Nitro got a little bullied on his way to the Mini Moldorm Cave here. Hopefully this is going to work out okay, but that hammer hitbox is questionable as always.
Those crabs do hurt. They give you 2 hearts of damage at green mail, so gets 1 down. Probably be a good idea to use bombs here.
Yeah, we're seeing the switch to bombs now.
It's a Nice double there at the end. Yeah, this Triforce piece number 9. Number 10. We are a quarter of the way done. We are at 11. It just
And
keeps
we're
going.
seeing Houlihan over here on Link to the Past Ken's side.
So we're over a quarter of the way done with the Triforce Sun. Of course, after you collect all 40 pieces, there's no need to defeat Ganon. There's nothing else you need to do. You just go up to Hyrule Castle and you speak to the elder that are sitting in front of Hyrule Castle. You take it right to the end of the game.
Nitro has found Blue Mail in the dam.
Probably wishes he had that a little bit ago before he got bullied, but you see both brothers kind of a virtual high five here. They're both checking the dam, so. And under the water, we have our Dark World access.
And Nitro is going to take that and say, I'm out.
Of course, Ken doesn't have Dark World access yet. He needs to go over to the Eastern Palace to find his hammer still.
Seems to be heading over towards Agina instead. Maybe also a check of the desert ledge. With the boots, it's reasonably quick.
So there is a Triforce piece on the desert ledge. You can't access it yet without the book or the mirror and the mints and the flute.
That looked like a red crystal at Swamp. There were a couple of pendants on the right-hand side, but I did not catch which was which.
We get a look at Hype Cave here. He did not pay it off. Hype Cave starts us out with a Triforce piece. A piece of heart. Our first bottle. Half magic. And I missed the last one.
I missed the last one as well. I think we dropped just a couple of frames there. We have chat saying that Turtle Rock was the green pendant.
So we're about 17 minutes into this race, and Nitro already has 13 Triforce pieces. Just needs to find 27 more to finish the game.
Looks like Ken is trying to farm a couple of more bombs here. Not being rewarded terribly well out of those 50-50 bushes, while Nitro is going to give us a check of the pyramid ledge. Just a piece to heart there on pyramid ledge. Nitro is going to turn his nose up at it.
It should be noted that most of the time you want to enter a dungeon when you can fully clear it. During the Triforce hunt, that's not always the case because you're just looking for Triforce pieces. You don't really care if you can beat the dungeon or not. So if you can go into a dungeon and clear it out as much as possible, you're not really worried about completing the dungeon. So, I mean, if you find a couple Triforce pieces in there, that's all you're really worried about.
I've been known from time to time on the restream to not map check in this mode, which may be some indication of how important or not important actually clearing out dungeons is.
Okay. Ken's having some problem with the mini Moldorms here. He's only got 2 bombs left.
And has not been to Eastern to find that hammer, so once the bombs are out, I do not believe he has a reusable weapon, but ooh, gets lucky on that last explosion, and there you go.
Very nice there. So he's gonna be rewarded with a couple Triforce pieces here. Get him up to 11.
Looks like Nitro, done with that first portion of the Dark World route, is heading over to the Village of Outcasts portal. And Ken looks to be heading over to Ice Rod Cave. This was something that Nitro did not do on his South Shore route.
Yeah, see, it's hard to do these one-off checks like a Gina and Ice Rod Cake because it's only one item. And he does not have a bomb to blow open that rock, but he does have a glove where it can lift up that rock. It's a 50-50 rock, where if it has a bomb or not.
And it does.
And just
That is good game
careful
knowledge
of the
on the
crab.
left side. Thankfully, with that blue mail, the crab is now down to 1 heart of damage rather than 2.
And well, it's a piece of heart, but it filled up his heart, so he's probably okay with that.
And Ken dashing along the side of the pit there to set up a water walk state. Probably see a water walk to Hobo here. Oh no, we're going to see maybe a fake flipper to Hobo and then a water walk out. That's a play that I like, but not everybody does it.
Yeah, it's a heads-up play because after you check the hobo, you can just run out the edge of the ladder there at hobo, and you get a water walk stag, and you can run all the way to waterfall Berry. And it looks like he's gonna give up on that for right now. Oh, he's gonna.
Going to rearm the water walk, I believe.
Yep, I believe so.
Welcome to our raiders from Speed Gaming Prime. 177 people coming in. This is the Speed Gaming Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. This afternoon, for your enjoyment, we have a Triforce hunt. 40 pieces required, 50 total added to the pool.
So just note there are 7 players in this race, so these are the 2 that are being restreamed right now. So we are looking for Triforce pieces. Triforce pieces only. We do not care about crystals or pendants right now. We just want pieces. And as you can see, Nitro right now has 14 out of the 40 required. There are 50 in the pool. So we get our check of our friendly man under the bridge. He gives us a piece of heart. We get a graveyard check here on Nitro's side. You're just joining us. The Dark World Axis is located in Eastern Palace right now. That is the first chest that Eastern has the hammer. And Nitro started out that way, but Pen has yet to be there. And we find piece number 16 at the Graveyard Ledge, so he's moving along just fine.
And it looks like Ken missed his rearm of that water walk and then could not get the reverse fake flipper back out from the hobo. The pixel for that is a little finicky, and after 3 or 4 times trying to find it and not finding it, has decided that a save and quit is the better part of valor here.
Yeah, you don't want to spend too much time trying to do that when you can. Hey, and we find the myths there in King's Tomb. Something you usually need to get to King's Tomb, but since we have the mirror available, it's in logic.
That increases Nitro's options even further.
The back of Escape here, we got a Triforce piece, the key, and another bottle. His first bottle. Nitro's opting to go back to Village of Outcasts here. Not dipping any dungeons, he's just more worried about overworld checks here.
You can kind of understand when you're 25 minutes in, you haven't even found a sword yet, kind of wondering, do I really want to do hammer everything? That said, with the mirror, I think that at least a front 4 play into Thieves could make a lot of sense for Nitro here.
You see Ken return to the fake flipper. Gonna check the island. It is a Triforce piece. Can't quite get that yet without the Dark World access though, and we're gonna fake flipper up to the Waterfall Ferry Zora area. Can't get what's out of Zora yet without the money, so you can at least look at the ledge and what's here in Waterfall Cave.
Nice avoiding of that attempted snipe by the Zora there.
I've been hit by that too many times. And we find our first sword here in the Waterfall Cave, so that's good for Ken.
That is a nice out of logic sword.
The ledge, we find the bow. Flipper locked bow.
Yeah, flipper locked bow and maybe not comfortable or not quite the equipment set to splash delete for it.
Fortunately, the front of Thieves Sound is not yielding any pieces. So we are gonna. Looks like he's gonna continue on to the back here.
That is a bold play without a sword or, you know, any kind of safety that you can really use with hammer. What is in the bottle that Nitro got? I saw the fairy in the bottle for Ken. I thought maybe it was a green goo on Nitro's side, which is not immediately helpful.
I thought it was a green goo, and yet the bottle did lead to a Triforce piece. So Sick Kid was holding onto one of the pieces, and Nitro was getting bullied there in that room in Thieves Town. He's got to be careful through this room now. Spikes, Patrick Stars, anti-fairies, everything that doesn't like you is there to make your day more miserable. And getting blocked in.
I would be really tempted to cape up here, and yeah, everything was right on top of Nitro there.
We're gonna see a sequence break out Death Mountain here. Out of logic, of course, without the lamp or the flute. So, you know.
Well, it's possible that you find one or the other up here, and then you know which one you've missed. With the mirror, you can at least get up to Tower of Hera, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I would personally prefer to have probably the hook shot and or the hammer before doing this, but we'll see if it pays out for Link to the Past Kin here.
Nitro is heading over to the digging game. He's probably gonna head back up the. Probably gonna head back up. Maybe do the Smith sequence afterwards too. Since he's got the mitts in the mirror. It's a quick check. We find our ice rod there. Digging game. Probably not gonna really need that for anything.
Seems to be performing a few extra digs here, probably hoping for money. The game didn't really pay for itself, and with Turtle Rock being the green pendant, Ice Rod probably not the prize anyone wanted from the dig game today.
Of course, on Ken's side, he did rescue the old man from the dark cave and got a Triforce piece for his reward, so he's up to 14 now.
Closing the gap back up, only 2 behind Nitro.
Of course, he has that sword too, and we find a mushroom on top of the Spectacle Rock Cave. So, and inside we got the shovel. Well, I guess we can call this Fetch Quest Rock.
It looks like Nitro is opting for a Smithy World tour rather than a turn-in and a partial purple chest tour, but has discovered the flippers, so it seems to have worked out a little bit.
That flippers opens up. He can get his first sword, and he can get a bow now, which will make Pod and Eastern completable without a lamp. Stumpy's gonna give us another Triforce piece, so we're almost halfway home there already.
Well, in Triforce Hunt, the first half tends to be pretty easy. It's the second half that you start wondering, where am I going to find these last couple that I actually need? Because I don't know if this is true for everybody or not, but I always feel like I run out of dense checks before I run out of needed Triforce pieces.
We're gonna get our check of the Smith here. As Ken's gonna opt to go into Hera. We find one of the items is actually a Triforce piece.
And a Triforce piece on the Smith as well.
And yeah, you were correct about the bottle. Nitro does have green goo in it, so not really gonna help him right now. So, but we're gonna get a check of hammer pegs.
Nitro attempted to start a hammer dash on that top row of pegs. It does not work if you do not have a sword. And so, even though he has the boots, we see the long, slow trek through. That will be time that maybe Link to the Past kin can save, but he's rewarded with a Triforce piece all the same. That is number 19 for Nitro. Link to the Past kin making this climb up Hera has hit what I call the coward switch, and I call it that in the full knowledge that I hit that switch every single time.
Same.
That even as I have gotten better at the Moldorm fight, I still prefer, especially when I'm on limited hearts like this, to have the safety just in case, because every once in a while Moldorm will still live up to its other name.
And Purple Chest also has a Triforce piece, so he is 20 out of 40. He is halfway there.
Halfway there is solid. Not unfortunately going to get another one out of Agina, though. We've already seen this on Link to the Past kin's side. It was, I believe, a piece of heart. Meanwhile, Ken is going to drop in and say hi to what we hope is going to be a cooperative worm. Opting for Fighter Sword spins, which do not do any more damage than Fighter Sword slashes, unfortunately.
For Cave Chest did not have much magic though, so Trolldorm here is gonna get enraged, move very fast, and hopefully doesn't get knocked off. Just use one more slash and gets it done.
That was a very nicely executed fight, rewarded with another bottle. We've seen 3 of the 4 bottles now, and that was a crystal. Not that it's hugely concerning.
Nitro finding those flippers at K45 is going to check all the flipper checks here. Starting off with the hobo, going to be rewarded with a piece of heart. But more importantly, he's going to head up to the waterfall cave, find his sword, and then over the sword he's going to find his bow on the water on Zora's ledge. It looks like Ken's gonna do a big flipper into this whirlpool, which will take him up right next to the potion shop where he turned in that mushroom.
Yep, this is one of those little bits of game knowledge that I feel has been percolating through the community here in the last couple of months. I've seen this a lot more than I had in even the recent past. It's pretty convenient. Nitro finding his first sword, it is in logic since he has those flippers. And Ken will find those eventually.
And we got literacy here on the mushroom. So that's going to open up Desert Palace also. Or we know another Triforce piece is hanging out on the ledge.
And it'll be interesting to see what Nitro does here after picking up this bow, having already dipped Eastern, found the hammer there. I am kind of curious about Link to the Past Ken's refusal to go over to that eastern area. Still does not have the hammer. If he was trying to stay within logic, it would be one thing, but then he just went ahead and sequence broke the flipper check, sequence broke up the mountain. Has gotten the literacy as really the only reward for it thus far.
Looks like he's going to go check Ether Tablet. Not much else he can do up here.
To answer your question in chat, crystals are not necessarily needed. It really all depends on where the pieces of Triforce happen to be placed. There can be pieces in the tower, but the chances that so many of them are up there that you cannot find everything else you need out in the world is pretty small. To the point that that has never actually happened to me personally in a Triforce Hunt Seed before. And it appears that Nitro is going to take that newfound bow straight over the pod, has enough money to pay for the extortionist, provided, of course, that he's not bullied by anything along the way a couple of times. Yeah, as far as the play into Fireless Pod goes, I like it personally. I feel like there's a decent chance that the lamp or the fire rod is just in here. Not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination, but it seems to happen fairly often. And as we follow Nitro into the Palace of Darkness, Ken is going to go ahead and use Literacy and enter the Palace of Sand, a desert palace on offer here.
And get Desert not completable without a fire source, but we can get most of the checks in here already. And Desert is boots locked, but good thing we have the boots already.
Yep, the boots are already on our runner's feet. The fact that Desert Palace is boots locked is not a cause for concern for either of them.
It also looks like Pod was bow locked there, so good thing he picked up that bow before he got over here.
Now, with that green goo in the bottle, it would have been possible for Nitro to sequence break this with the potion camera unlock glitch, but the bow makes that free and easy.
First item in the desert is just a heart container. So we find a second item here. Well, that had to be the big key. We find some more safety in the Cane of Burna there in Pod. We want to find the second item here because we don't really need to complete the dungeon.
So, one small key and the cane of Burna over there on the bow-locked side of pod. Nitro very deliberately lining up that bonk.
And I think it was just some bombs there in the big chest, so no Triforce pieces in desert, but there is one outside of desert there on the ledge.
And it's still entirely possible that we'll see something on a tablet, so, you know, the book is paying out at least a little bit.
So for Ken right now, feels like you have to go over to the eastern area. There's not much left for him here, and he does appear to be headed that way, where he's going to find his hammer in the first chest of eastern.
Yes, I believe that Kin has availed himself of every other possible option and is left with this.
And collect his two Triforce pieces from Sahasrala. We do find a Triforce piece here in Pod, Turtle Room, as he heads down to the Rupee hallway in the dark.
Going to go ahead and use the sword to light his way ever so slightly. We have left logic behind at this point. You're expected to have a fire rod or the lamp at this point.
Little trouble finding that chest.
I think he's above it rather than below it. He needs to find a way into the bottom portion there.
Kid finally getting his Dark World access. We continue on here, and unfortunate for Nitro, could not find that chest. Starts to save it quite out of it for now.
But once you get lost in the dark, it is not always the easiest thing to find yourself again.
As he finds number 22 now in another bottle for him. Where do you go from here?
I don't know, Nitro with the hammer of flippers and mirror has some chests available in Swamp. Of course, usually you want to put off the hook, getting the hook before you go in there, but sometimes the hook is just in there. But it looks like instead heading over to the Village of Outcasts area. Might be a play into Skullwoods this time. No, heading south again into the village proper. Might be another play into the back of Thieves, which bullied him substantially earlier.
Be a little easier with the sword now. Ken makes his way through the dark room in Eastern, having no problems there. One of the easier ones to learn.
And is going to go ahead and cape up to hit this switch, which is a good play when you've got a safety like the cape or the blue cane and enough magic to use it. If I were Nitro, I would have been very tempted to do the same thing there in the Hellway in Thieves Town.
Gonna take any chances here. Standing in the doorway, trying to bully those crickets. And finding a Triforce piece there at the bottom of the room.
It appears that Kin, having found that hammer, is going to double down on the mountain play. This is interesting.
It's gonna be new information for us. We have not seen what was over here yet, so it's a pretty dense area. It's 7 checks. Fortunately, can't do any of the Dark Death Mountain stuff without the myths. But definitely check Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave, see what's on the floating island.
And a timely fairy there under that bush.
Also, no, after he's done with this, he could come back around and check Spike Cave. He does have a ferry, he does have the cave. He should be able to get through it no problem if he really so chooses to do so. We find a piece of heart at the floating island. We're going to check out Spiral Cave.
A full heart there in Blind Cell and no small key means that the small key is happily locked away in the big chest, and there is no reason for Nitro to concern himself with it.
Spiral Cave produces a Triforce piece. That's Ken's 20th Triforce piece. He is now half done. Needs to be careful here. It's going to pull out the burn-on. Makes it a little bit easier. You have half magic. You're not going to be able to take any more shots here. You know, to be blind. Down goes blind. For another Triforce piece.
Always nice to have Safety Cane there. Unfortunately, just the blue pendant there off of blind, but, you know, when you pick a Triforce piece up for your efforts, you're not really complaining about the pendant or crystal count.
Oh, we got a fire rod there at the front of Paradox Cave. You find 2 Triforce pieces, 3 Triforce pieces. And the Ether Medallion, so Mountain proven to have some worth there. There's about 4 Triforce pieces up here on East Death Mountain, so he's pulled within 1 Triforce piece of Nitro.
And it looks like Nitro may be taking my thoughts to heart and heading into the front of Swamp Palace here. Mildly surprised with that glove not wanting to sequence break up the mountain, but after the earlier difficulties in the Dark and Palace of Darkness, maybe wanting to stay within the logic here, thinking that maybe the lamp or the flute is going to show up for him here.
And again, not having hookshot going in the swamp during the Triforce time, it's not a bad play. It's just you're just looking for checks. You're not looking to complete all the dungeons. You just want them. You're just looking for dense locations, and swamp having 6 items, it's gonna have your most dense location right now. Even though you can't get to them all right now.
Yeah, we know that the fire rod that Link to the Past Kin found up there is going to be behind one of the flue toward the lamp. We just don't know which one it is, and it feels like Nitro may be in the better position to find whichever one it is, being in Swamp here. I don't know that he has a whole lot of other checks left within the logic. So we're getting plenty of time to look at the map check here. We've got crystals all the way along the bottom. We had the regular pendants, east and west regular, and of course we already knew that Turtle Rock was the green one.
That fire rod he picked up, he is going right to Skullwoods, or just kidding. He's thought he was going to Skullwoods there, but he decides he's gonna go check Bumper Cave first, since he does have the cave. Just how hard to did it.
Yep, sees the full heart container, decides, no, you know what, I'm on blue mail, I've got 10 hearts already, maybe that's 9. Either way. It's enough safety for him to feel comfortable with, and other checks are more important. I believe that it is all of the rocks on the diagonal there that are 50-50 bomb rocks that Ken was just picking up.
Yes, that is correct.
And Ken is about to be rewarded with the Titan's Mitts.
Probably wish he would have had that moment ago when he went up the mountain.
Yep, unfortunately that will cost him another mountain climb, but maybe the fire rod is going to be the item that pays out in return. And Ken evening up the Triforce piece count, 24 to 24.
Not finding too much here in Swamp right now, but got a couple checks left that we can do. Without the hook shot, we got the 2 items here at the left side of Swamp.
Well, I'm trying to think, what does Nitro have left within logic? You know, excluding things like sequence breaking up the mountain, which is relatively easy in the grand scheme of things. Has Nitro dipped the front of Skullwoods yet?
I think he went in there for a bit and decided to leave. I think he was getting bullied by some Gyptos in there and decided not to stick around. So we're gonna.
Well, there's a Triforce piece for Nitro on the left part of left side swamp.
There's no hook shot, means you have to go the long way around again.
But let's see, is Nitro's progression piece tucked away here in the vanilla big key chest of left side swamp? It is the Bombos medallion. Hello, access to Ice Palace. How are you today? Seems to be maybe turning his nose up at it at the moment, though. Still on Fighter Sword, I don't know that I really blame him. I'm not sure what the alternative play is here, though.
Yeah, there's not really much left to do. So he's gonna go get the Triforce piece off the Lake Highland Island here first. Ken picks up his ice rod, something he didn't want to see probably. And says no to Ice Palace.
That may simply have been a save and quit to get health back, although, you know, going into the dungeon and dying would have accomplished the same thing. This seed, as Triforce hunts are, is really light on money. We still have not seen Zora's item. The chances that we are going to see it, you know, knowing where we know things are, seems pretty likely. The Scam Master is going to be a little lonely today, I think.
I think you're right there, Ed. Nitro is going to go into Ice Palace with that Bombos now. It's a good play. It's about the only one he has left, really.
Oh, and yeah, looking at the bottles that Nitro has, particularly the one that was showing at the moment, I can understand that save and quit for health rather than walking in and dying for it, because Nitro still has a fairy in a bottle. He did preserve that by not performing a Death Warp for hearts.
And evens up the Triforce piece one again, 26. We're still looking for 14 more pieces.
Now, Ken's going to get one more off of the purple chest here. Nitro really putting this new Bombos medallion to work, as has pretty much burned every room to the floor, and there is the big red cane of Samaria in Ice Palace.
Well, that is a great place to find that. Just when you thought you were going to Ice Palace, not the do the Ice Palace bomb jump, you're like, oh, I get ice brick. Oh, that's convenient.
Now, I know that Nitro is a newer runner. I do not know how conversant he is with either of those tech, but Icebreaker looks so swaggy, it wouldn't surprise me if people who are, you know, kind of new to the game are learning it a little earlier.
And yeah, we are going to see the vanilla route for Ice Palace here, so. Skin takes the lead in the Triforce hunt. And now it's up to 27. And we're going to get a shovel check here. And there's number 28 on the shovel.
Nitro is currently in my least favorite room in the entire game. The only way this room could be worse if it had dead rocks in it. Well, I guess zeros would work as well. Both of those would be terrible in here.
This room is why I learned the Icebreaker.
Learned Icebreaker? Yep.
The room is absolutely horrible.
I can absolutely appreciate that. It's just unfortunate that Icebreaker cannot be performed with bombs. If there was a way to do that like there was with Diver Down, it would be the ultimate tech for making Ice Palace not a terrible dungeon.
Just need to be careful here. Down to 1 heart, unfortunately. Gonna take a little save and doesn't get it out in time, unfortunately. But
Does have a fairy. Link to the Past Ken with the Triforce pieces coming in fast and furious is now up to 29, having dipped into Hype Cave, also gets that green goo and the half magic. And now an even 30 out of 40.
And with that purple chest, he's gonna end up with 31 after all this said and done.
Yeah, Drossi, the Ice Palace dive here, I think, is because Nitro is staying within logic a little better than Kin has. Some of those Triforce pieces that Kin has have come from a sequence break up the mountain. And I guess we're going to see another bomb jump here from Nitro. This is one of the more finicky bomb jumps in the game. Takes a couple of tries, but finally gets the position and blasts himself right across there.
Nicely done.
Not going to find the hookshot behind this. That is hookshot locked, but here we are. 3 more checks to make.
He is backed out to 2 hearts, so does need to be careful here. Yeah, we're gonna get a couple more checks here. Gonna be saved, take out that Stalvo's Knight.
Personally, I think I would have taken the heart under the pot there opposite of the floor switch, but, you know, maybe that's just a piece of game knowledge that Nitro does not have yet.
He was just waiting for that piece of heart to refill him.
Oh yeah, very timely full health refill there. And I am still definitely curious where the logical mountain access is going to come from, because it's pretty clear at this point that that is what Nitro is looking for. We've already seen the Swamp Palace checks that Kin is about to make, because Nitro has made them.
Not many places left where you can find the blue or the lamp. Unless there's actually something here on Cold Stairs, not really much else. I'm trying to think where else it could be.
I'm still not certain that he found both items in Skullwoods. But that's about the only other thing that I'm really coming up with at this point. His remaining number of checks are fairly limited.
I mean, I guess it could be something on Zora 2, but we have nowhere near the money for Zora, so.
That would be exceptionally cruel, because it seems like Nitro really wants to stay within logic, and if there is a lamp there, or, you know, even the flute at this point on the Zora Lord, that is a substantial advantage that Link to the Past Kin has.
And this Nitro decided not to take on Cold Stair. Probably not comfortable with the Fighter Sword Cold Stair. Oh, gonna pay a visit to the Bomb Arrow Fairy. Gonna pick up a bomb upgrade.
Leaving him with a grand total of 1 rupee. Pretty clearly Zora not on the mind here.
And finally gonna go over and check the Ice Rock Cave here.
That is what it looks like.
Ken finds his 31st piece here in the left side of Swamp Palace. He is now single digits in divining number 40. He needs 9 more. And Ken, I believe he had to go in the Ice Palace after this as well, even though it doesn't seem to be too much in Ice Palace right now. Let's stock Colts there. Finds the Bombos medallion. Yeah, finding Cadus Maria there in Ice Palace doesn't do a lot for us right now. No logical access up to Death Mountain, and we can't get over to Mire.
There is Ken's 30-second Triforce piece off of the purple chest. Only requires 8 more. And Nitro heading back into the Dark World here by the Village of Outcasts appears to be heading north this time. This should be the Skull Woods play we've been wondering about for a while now.
And Bombo's tablet there is a Triforce piece, so if we find a sword upgrade, we may be back for that one.
It's at least a little bit of knowledge that you can tuck away in the back of your mind. If I'm one Triforce piece away and I've found that second sword, I know where to go to get one.
Absolutely.
Here we are. Nitro in the middle of Skull Woods has decided that the Cane of Samaria works just fine on that switch. Find some bombs in the middle chest. So maybe a dip back into the front for the second item, or hopefully the second item anyway. No, is instead on the move back out into the dark overworld. Have we found the other item in Woods already?
Yeah, I don't remember. We very well could have, one could be locked in the back. Hard to say.
Ken going ahead and making the dive into Thieves Town here. I believe there was a Triforce piece on the boss, if I'm not mistaken.
I know there's at least one in the upstairs where you bomb the floor out. There might be another one on the boss, so as long as he makes it that far in, he should have at least one more, if not 2 more.
Well, while he's showing us things that we've seen already, and while we're trying to figure out where Nitro is going, M4A2000 has helpfully posted our runners' information in chat. Our runners have been putting on a show for you this afternoon. Please, by all means, go over and show them some love, throw them a follow if you're interested. You know, I know that Nitro is a newer runner. Link to the Past Kin has been around for a little while, but both of them love the game, and if you're here watching, you love the game too, so you've got a common interest already. Also, we have our commentary and tracking team posted here as well. My partner, Captain 1977, Warren Traveler, who is performing the tracking today, making sure that the tracker shows you what they have, since, well, with Quick Swap, we don't always get to see that anymore. And I, of course, am my NDM. It appears that Nitro may be going ahead to clear out the boss of Eastern Palace. I think there might have still been an item on there. It's been a while since we've seen those items, but I think we saw both the map and the compass fairly early here, and nobody had the bow the first trip in.
number 33 for Ken. It's getting closer and closer to that 40 mark.
Yeah, Ken is definitely in pretty good shape here. I think what might hold him up eventually is that Cane of Samaria in Ice Palace. Without that, it's not as though you can dip in for the density in Turtle Rock, although, you can still go up to the Dark Mountain and get a couple of checks in Super Bunny, and the one bonkable chest in Hookshot. It's not hugely dense without being able to either make the full Hookshot play or the play into Turtle Rock, so, maybe that's what kind of stalls his forward progress here in the near future. Ken picking up the full heart container there in the Maiden's cell and is going to drag the fake Maiden, aka Blind, all the way back up to the boss room. And Nitro with the blue cane to get that switch without taking any damage. There is a damage boost strat, and once you're up to 12 hearts, usually probably avail yourself of it, but with Quick Swap you can get to your safety items with relative ease. Also, Nitro taking a little advantage of some game knowledge there and getting the 10 arrows under those 2 pots.
We did find out his 27 piece there in the big chest, and he's gonna tip the blind room here, the dark room. Gotta look for that Igor and have a little trouble finding him. There he is. Not easy to do here.
My general preference when I have no lamp and no fire rod is to walk into the room and hit bombos to see where all of the little wiggly guys are, because they'll all start burning, and then you can set up your arrow shot relatively easily based on their positions. And unfortunately, those Igors do appear to have bullied Nitro to death. And we have Ken heading over to Skullwoods now.
See, now King could do the back of Skull Woods since he's got that fire rod. His secret's broken up that mountain. So we're gonna see some new checks there.
Yeah, but it appears he's going to go into the front first. Ah, that's what the other item was. It was a Triforce piece. Look at that.
He's now 5 away.
So it's a Triforce piece and bombs there. That is interesting.
I think Nitro's gonna head back into Icebound here, try to take out Cold Stare.
And Ken is going to continue checking the front. We know that the other item is in the middle because Nitro has shown it to us. So, Captain, what do you think it is that Cold Stare is going to have? We know it's an item of some variety.
Well, at this point, it could be anything. It could be like flute to get up to Death Mountain. It could be the lamp, maybe to get up to Death Mountain. Flute would do more as it will give us over to the Mire area too. So I'd like to see a flute here on Cold.
I think the hidden possibility there is the hook shot to go into the back of Swamp Palace, perhaps.
That would mean requiring double dip since Swamp had the Babos medallion too.
Speaking of things that the Swamp and Ice plays have, Link to the Pastkin, having not made that first play into Ice yet, does not have the Cane of Samaria and is forced to do the old-fashioned statue movements here.
Does get the second item there. Let's see, that's since you have both items out in Skullbones here, there's no need to complete it.
And is going to go ahead and save and quit out.
It looks like Ken is going to follow him into Ice Palace. Yeah.
Sees that Triforce piece on Hylia Island, probably thinking about going back for that in the near future. Oh, is going to go pick up the bow, of course, of course.
Yes. He has not gotten the bow yet.
Nitro has not dropped either of the blocks down here, but with the Cane of Samaria in hand is going to come over here anyway, maybe for some hit points? Maybe for some magic as well.
And I think he's going to drop down here and get a barrier too, just for the health refill.
Trying to do Cold Stare on Fighter Sword? Alright, I can totally see the reasoning behind getting a few more hit points before you do that. That's not the most fun fight in the world.
Absolutely not.
You know, it's either Fighter Sword spins, which are slow and can leave you a little vulnerable after you let one off, or it's the hammer with its wonky hitbox. It does more damage, but once again, once you slam that hammer down, you're vulnerable for just a little bit. You have to be really careful with either of these choices.
Gonna opt for the hammer strats here on Cold Stare. Does have to be careful. Those hugs do hurt. He is down to 2 hearts already.
Unfortunately, with the blue cane out, you cannot spin. If he wants to do that, the cape is the better option.
And you see the unfortunate in there, the Cold Stare, and decides to leave.
That is exactly the kind of thing you worry about when you start trying to do the Fighter Sword Hammer Cold Stare fight. It's just not one of the easier, lowish % fights in the game. So what is he going to show us instead, while Link to the Past Kin heads into the bow-locked Palace of Darkness, having finally picked up the bow?
Is he gonna farm money for Zora here?
If this is the play, my personal preference would have been to go do this at the Generous Sky Cave on the way to Desert, which has 50 in it rather than 30, and you can duck back out and in more quickly rather than having to take an additional screen transition.
Yeah, I believe that is what he's doing too. This might take a while.
Yes, this is going to be a bit time-consuming. Now, in fairness, Link to the Past Kin did do some early rupee farming of his own here. So it's not as much of a time commitment. Well, it's still a time commitment, but it's not as offsetting as it might otherwise have been. Ken finding that Cane of Verna, and we'll receive the small key here over on the bow-locked side of Pod. And picks up one small key on the bridge chest there, and is going to do the same thing Nitro did, and go check the Vanilla Big Key location. Unfortunately, the way Pod key logic works, a maximum of 2 non-small key items may be in the front, and having seen both the blue cane and that full heart container, they've already found both. Now, the front of Pod can have as many as 6 small keys, so you can have already seen 5 and come up here and it'd still be key for a key. That's not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination, and 6 key front Pod is extremely rare. I don't know that I've ever had it personally. But, yeah, that was a little extra time that neither of our runners needed to spend today, and knowledge of Pod key logic is helpful.
A little surprised Ken doesn't go for like Hylia Island. Get that free Triforce piece just sitting there.
Might be considering going into Pod first. You know, Pod has reasonable density as a play, and with the Fire Rod, a little more of it is in logic for him versus Nitro. Of course, you know, still technically out of logic since he pulled that Fire Rod out of logic up off the mountain, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, he knows that he's either skipping the lamp or the flute, and thus is not going to find that behind his out of logic Fire Rod.
With that Fire Rod in hand, he should be able to light the torch here in the basement. See where he's going.
To answer a question in chat, Nitro started his game with a Houlihan. That was his first play right out of the Sanctuary.
And Ken's opting to leave the Dark Maze behind. Probably doesn't feel comfortable doing the Dark Maze. I can understand that. I'm the same way, so.
That Dark Maze can get pretty finicky. When I have either the Ether or the Bombos medallions, however, if you hold the sword out when you walk into the room and hold down for a second or two, you can light that off and either freeze or burn away all of those little Kodongos, and then all you have to do is hold your sword out and find your way through. Now, of course, you say that like it's easy. I still have to have the dark room map up to do that. I can't do that, you know, functionally blind.
Yeah, with the Fire Rod in hand here, this does put Well, since the big key was in vanilla, the Armor Knight's not in logic, but logic is not that important here in Triforce Hunt.
Ken has already spent plenty of time out of logic today. I don't know that an out of logic Armo skill is really on his mind.
But having that fire rod in hand is going to make it a little bit easier. He can light that torch in the room and see the Igor there. Just to the right, as soon as you walk in, it should be right there. Gonna go ahead and light both of them just for safety.
And while he's been working on that, Nitro is all the way up to 321 rupees. This has been quite a festival of pot lifting, but here we are.
It's gonna be ripped after this one, all the pot lifting he's doing.
No kidding, that's a full body workout, you know? At least as long as you're doing it right, you get the legs, the core, the arms, the shoulders, everything is working here.
So about 5 more chips and he should have his money. Ken makes his way back to the Armos Knights. And Armos Knights just having a compass today.
Yeah, I thought we had seen both of those dungeon items, but I was obviously mistaken. So, what do we think that Ken's next play is going to be here?
Oh, he's got to go into Ice Palace at this point. Try to complete it there. Or?
Well, we thought that, but after picking up the pots for the hearts in the house, has decided to save and quit and take a different tack.
He's gonna go explore Dark Death Mountain.
Well, this certainly can be a play. I believe he still has Spike Cave available to him, and of course the 2 chests in Super Bunny and the bonkable chest in Hookshot Cave.
And he is trying to go around to the hookshot, realizes does not have the hookshot. So he's gonna go up the long way.
And get a little bullied by Dead Rocks for his troubles.
It should be final chip here for Nitro into 500 rupee territory, and there it is. Done it. So if Zora has an item here that's going to be useful, it's going to be pretty big for Nitro, actually. Because Link to the Past Ken here is quite a bit short from having Zora money. So he could do the same route and try to run up some money somewhere else. But
And he has also already performed his Houlihan, so it's not as though he has a quick route up to the 450 range.
one Houlihan per runner per seed, so.
Well, you can perform the glitch again, but the rupees are only there the first time. And Ken is going to go ahead and enter from the Turtle Rock side. Without the Cane of Samaria, having not made the Ice Palace play, is not going to be able to go into Turtle Rock, even with the 66% chance that the medallion is correct. And it is in fact Bombos today.
We get a first look in the Super Bunny Cave here. As Nitro's going to check what is finally on Zora. We got Silver arrows.
That is not what Nitro was hoping for.
Oh, and we find the Master Sword there, Super Bunny Cave. That's going to open Combo's tablet.
And
And now
Nitro is going to hard reset out of that silver arrows to save the money, I believe.
silver arrows are nice to have, but it's not really progressive.
Yeah, when you're not really all that worried about killing bosses, when you're not actually going to be going and killing Ganon, and there's the
Oh,
shot
there
bonkable in
it
Hookshot
is.
Cave. Uh-oh.
We got a bonk shot.
That probably puts Kin in a really good position here, finds red mail, finds another Triforce piece, and this last chest is a piece of heart.
Having knowledge of the two other Triforce pieces, one on Island, one on Bombo's tablet. He is one Triforce away from finishing the siege.
And Nitro is going to go ahead and pick up a couple of blue goo, probably knowing that Zora was not the answer, is instead taking that money that he farmed up and is likely going back to the Gold Star fight.
Yeah, I believe the Cold Star has to have something at this point, like the lamp or the flute, to get up to Death Mountain. So I'm trying to think of what else other checks are available at this point. I can't really come up with anything.
No, I think that Nitro has managed to literally last location his mountain access here. And seeing Scrupula's comment in chat, I agree 100%. Triforce Hunt, if there is a mode where you want to just go ahead and break logic, this is it. Yes, Link to the Past Kin has not yet gone into Ice Palace to find the Cane of Samaria, so Turtle Rock not on offer to him just yet.
Well, he is going to get number 38 here on Bombo's tablet.
Kane was in the southern check that Nitro is going to duck into the room of briefly just to the right of this.
It was the first chest here in Ice Palace.
Yes, the southern room with the 6-pin gators. That's where the red cane was. So it appears that Ken is going to take that hook shot and go right back into Swamp Palace. Now, provided that Ken has not forgotten the other Triforce piece there on Hylia Island, just needs to find one here in the back of Swamp Palace to be in go mode. Going to get a little statue push here. The old tried and true method of getting through the back of Swamp Palace. So I expect we'll see a dash down to get these couple of flooded checks first. They're a little out of the way when you're going this way, but you know, you're not really worried about killing the boss. You just want those little yellow triangles, like that one right there.
There it is. He is out of there. He's gonna go get the one on. Oh, maybe not.
It looks like he may want to check the big chest rather than having to do a couple of screen transitions to get the Hylia Island Triforce piece. You know, maybe the big chest works out for him, but unfortunately the glitched staircase strikes again.
Big chest. We have 10 arrows. So he is gonna go ahead and leave. I assume he's gonna head over to Lake Hylia Island, find his 40th Triforce piece here. And all he's gotta do is go back to the light world, talk to the guy by Hyrule Castle. Done.
And there we are, Link to the Past Kin with this mirror is going to be right on top of Triforce piece number 40, and that is Go Mode.
Quick save, quick back to your house. And run straight up, and that's it. There it is. It's alright. Let's go ahead and get those GG in the chat. Link to the Past Kin. He finishes with an official race time. 1 hour 37 minutes and 21 seconds. Congratulations, GG's Ken.
That was, of course, good for first on the restream and 5th overall. And now that we have a finisher, we can talk about the rest of our finishers here. We had Alex Jazz 2 finishing first with a time of 1:14:19. Scupula finished second with a time of 1 hour 17 minutes and 35 seconds. Professor Renderer in third with a 1 hour 23:13. And Professor Fixie fourth overall with a 1 hour 34 minutes and 37 seconds. Good game to all of our runners. And as I say that, Nitro is here having the second go-round with the Cold Stare Puffs.
Pick up more potions there. You should be feeling pretty good. You can hit the puffs with the hammer. Pulls out the blue potion.
And the hammer comes right back out.
Some trouble there. Burn his second blue potion. We're gonna... And we are joined now by Link to the Past Ken. GG to you, sir.
Good game.
My rounding was not very good.
So, what are your thoughts about Triforce Peace Hunt races like this?
Well, I knew that pendants probably are going to have more Triforce races than crystals. But that's what I went with.
I think the main thing, the Triforce Hunt piece, is that you can go into dungeons without having to complete dungeons. So, your main focus is just to find the Triforce pieces, get them as fast as you can, and you don't have to worry about completing dungeons or sequence breaks or worry about anything being in logic. It's just really relaxed, chill mode, and it's very fun to watch for everyone.
Where's my opponent at?
He's trying to kill Cold Stare right now. He did
So
not go
how
out.
many does he have?
He is on 27 right now, and he did not sequence break out that mountain, so he's trying to stay in logic. We can.
I don't even know how many were on the mountain.
I'm not sure how many were on the mountain, but the mountain gave you access to, in addition to some pieces, you got the fire rod, and we're generally able to collect everything in a more timely manner. Also, the hookshot being there in the bonkable chest in Hookshot Cave
So
gave
found
you
the
some more
master sword.
locations that
Also
Nitro
found the
doesn't have
master.
access to.
Found the master sword in the Super Bunny Cave, which allowed you to get the Triforce piece out the Bombo's tablet.
How about the glove in King's Tomb?
Yeah, that's something you don't usually see. You usually need the get the Titan's bits to get into Keen's Tomb. So, and Nitro finally making a sequence break up Death Mountain.
One of those things that he may not feel comfortable with, but after the couple of deaths to Cold Stare, thinking, you know what, maybe this is easier than fighting the boss on the equipment set that I'm going to be stuck with.
I had to farm bombs because I didn't have any for Kakariko, so that's why I went in that little hut that had 4 bombs.
That's good game knowledge to have there. You have the 50-50 bush right outside that hut. You just found that hut, and there's 4 bombs right in there.
Did Blind's house have 5 pieces?
I believe it had 4 and the
Four.
cape.
4 in the cape. Yep.
There he is. Nitro has successfully rescued the old man from the dark cave. Receives Triforce piece number 28 for his troubles.
This is the first race I've won in like 3 months.
This one was a tricky one. The Triforce hunts always are a little convoluted. You know, you're not always concerned about clearing dungeons so much as you are, just finding the Triforce pieces. Once you've found all of the items in a given location, you can move right along.
But ice is not fun.
It turns out you did not have to go in the Ice Palace at all. Cadence Samaria was in Ice Palace, the first chest of Ice Palace, so that didn't lead to anything though.
Well, it could have. We didn't
I would have
actually
gone
get to see the inside of Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
I did not like the bow on Zora Ledge.
You know, it turned out that Zora himself had, but Nitro took the time to farm some money in Line Cell to get the money to find out that silvers were actually on Zora. So Zora had both bows today.
And then when he saw that, he actually hard reset out of it to hang on to the money to buy potions, which was a really smart play on his side.
The play here was the sequence work out that mountain to get everything you need to complete the scene. Get the shovel, the mushroom, hookshot, second sword, and the fire rod.
Where was the second bow?
It was not Zora himself.
I never had the money for Zora.
Yeah, money is kind of hard to come by in these big Triforce hunt pieces because a lot of the money gets taken out of the pool and replaced with Triforce pieces. So he